so excited to be back here. We are a little bit behind schedule here. Sin, we're going to kind of pop through and run through a bunch of this super quick. Before we start, as always, we got to take a moment to thank our Patreon subscribers. Arturus, welcome to the stream. Cheer on Tyler. But yeah, so thank you to all our Patreon subscribers. I'm a little flustered because I am so far behind on my schedule. Speaking of schedules, we started the season off with our mystery track. We went to Brands Hatch and Laguna Seca, which I was unable to make those races, unfortunately. Now we find ourselves at the Red Bull Ring with a night and rain race. I may need to play with my camera settings a little bit to try to brighten this up because it is dark out there. Yes, and gotta love Red Bull Ring. So we're gonna kind of pop over and just dive right into this thing because this thing has already started. Sorry, give me a second to, there we go, we got that up. And we need to get our, where are you? Qualifying, because we have started with qualifying. How do we feel about the brightness of this? Are we feeling okay about it? Let me check the game audio. This might need to get turned up a little bit. All right. Yes, we are super behind schedule because for those of you who know, those of you who don't know, today is actually my birthday. So been celebrating all the festivities of the birthday that comes with that. We also have a new driver on the grid tonight. He is returning because another admin here at DRL shares a birthday with me, the great Tyler Morgan. Tyler is out here racing tonight on his birthday. We picked this track because it is one of his favorite tracks to drive. So he came out. Yeah, Sin, Ryan, Turk, thank you guys all so much. Excited to be here celebrating. Just running a little bit behind schedule. But we are here and we are following along. I am going to see right now as qualifying gets started if I can play with these settings to try to lighten them a little bit. I'm going to send a DM to the great and powerful Neil Kerbal because he probably will know really quickly what I can do to brighten this thing up. Sin, you're getting along really well with the Lexus these last months. Nice. Who is it? Jim Kelly's out there in the Lexus right now, and Neil Kerbal as well. Yeah, Pally, hopefully they can give us a good race. You know, Red Bull it leans itself for good racing. Everyone's really familiar with it. So they're comfortable with the track. They have fun racing on it. There we go. That is better. Oh yeah, nothing a little Google can't fix. Sin says the problem is I can't use any more cars. The Lexus has such a unique way to drive it that I can't drive other cars like I used to. Interesting. I can't remember if I've ever driven the Lexus. I might have hopped in it once and just been like an immediately nope and gone off to something else. Go 393. We're cheering. Snag is cheering for Stephen Noble, our most noblest driver on the grid here. Let's get over and follow along with Stephen Noble. We've got through this kind of scuffed beginning that we expected to kind of get through. And while we're riding along with Stephen Noble here, let's go through a few things here. As it currently stands, Jim Kelly has thrown down a pole position lap with a 133.4. We got Sam Zowiza, who is coming in with a 133.6. Senior Tarugo, who just puts up pole position with a 133.3. We got Stephen Noble right there. Stephen is up big on this lap here. He's got just a few turns to go. This is a pole position lap if he doesn't lose it on this final turn. He's coming down the final straight here. This is a big lap for Stephen Noble. He's doing it for Snag. He's going to cross the line and Snag. That is a pole position for you, Noble. P1 as it currently stands. Tyler Morgan coming in right now. As I said earlier, Tyler is here just for tonight to hang out with us for our combined birthday celebration. Creamy Von Cream, he's coming in with pole position for the AM class currently. For those of you who are new here, just a reminder, the AM and Pro-Am class get the first 10 minutes of qualifying, so we have about 2.5 minutes left. That's enough time for most of these drivers to get in another 2 laps, and then the pro drivers will get the grid from there. During practice, we did not get a chance to get this started. It was pouring. It says it's a little wet out there. It doesn't look like that to me. Pally is live and in person, so we will see if he has anything to report from the drivers as it's actually going. But yes, and it is going to be an interesting race. Like I said, it poured in practice. This looks fairly dry. The weather will completely reset. Let's hop on with John Malott here. John's just starting off this lap, but is already up really big. But yeah, big for Stephen Noble right there, coming in by 0.02 of a second. Sin's got some more to say about the Lexus. The Lexus has the worst brakes among the GT3. Sin, brakes are overrated. Just drive fast, right? It's got a habit of locking the rear wheels under braking and absolutely hates trail braking. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't think I had. I'm not sure if I've ever popped in the Lexus before. We got someone off track up here. That looks like car 127 or 127, which is the silent assassin, Alan Leung, lurking in the back. John's kind of lost a little lap time, but Creamy Von Cream is up on his lap time, so we'll be able to see what is he going to be able to put together here early days into this lap. But as the drivers come around, we have about 45 seconds left, so Alan Leung will be our last driver most likely to be able to start a new lap, although Tyler Morgan may be able to get one. John Malott is off the track here. Let's see what Gannon Faust has going on. He's pretty early in his lap here, but he is up big. About 2.5 seconds back. He needs a lot of time to be found. About 1.5 seconds for pole position for his respective class. We got 15 seconds here, so a few more drivers ended up getting through. Tyler's going to have one final shot here. Tarugo's going to have one final shot, as is Sam Zowiza. Stephen Noble and Jim Kelly have both decided this is a qualifying for them. Creamy Von Cream, Hudson Kang, and John Malott are all in as well. Kyle Hirsch is going to be one of our first pros to get out of the box. Nothing big going on for Alan Leung. So right now, this is one of the few races we're not seeing major improvements here. It does look like we have some rain coming down. Maybe the track is just getting wetter, which is making it harder for these drivers to, well, I guess drive, right? Nothing we love more than a wet-ass track, a WAT. The Lexus is arguably not very agile, but extremely fast on straights due to it using the 2016 aerodynamic package, so it's really annoying car to overtake. Interesting. Yeah, I would guess that, Sin, that it's highly track dependent as to where you'll see that success. All right. 127 is going to cross. That is Alan Leung, the silent assassin. We have, let's see, Tyler Morgan is not up on his lap time, but let's hop on with him and take a look at what the drivers see just coming into the pit lane. We got car 52, Sam Zuiza. He is so close right now, but he's losing a little bit of time through these turns here, and that is going to do it. That is it. A wrap on our current qualifying. Snag, just for you, your teammate. Pole position for our noblest driver, the Honorable Stephen Noble with the 133.35. Right behind him will be Senior Tarugo with the 133.3, followed by Jim Kelly with the 133.4, Sam Zuiza with the 133.5. That is incredible. Our top 4 drivers are within 0.2 of each other. We got Tyler Morgan coming in with a 134.2. I think Tyler will absolutely take that. There we go. Tyler will absolutely take that, with him just basically popping on last night for the first time in probably a year to drive. As far as it goes for the AMs, we got Creamy Von Cream with a 134.27, Hudson Kang with the 134.4, Gannon Faust with the 135.7. Pally, what did Tyler say about it? It does look like you can see a little bit of rain. I turned up the brightness, so that might be kind of messing with it a little bit. That's right. Yeah. Sid, just tell him to shut up. No, I'm just kidding, Pally. We love you. And we miss you out on the track. All right, so let's see. We got Kyle Hirsch crossing the line first, putting up a respectable 134.8. One has to ask themselves, is the track only getting more and more wet? It does appear that it's raining harder and harder here. Gav Cook is currently holding pole position for the pro class. This would be so interesting because usually the pros go later, the track is more optimal. It looks like it's raining harder just looking at this point of view, and we might see Stephen Noble hold the overall pole position right now just because of track conditions. Neil Kerbel coming in with the 133.5. So, you know, maybe we spoke too soon here. Let's hop on with Gav Cook. It's kind of throwing me off because we have a bit of a small grid today. If I were there, I'd make the mistake of braking on the curb. See, that's what I'm saying. You got to just come up with an extra like $3,000 to join us on the PC life. Xbox or PlayStation is overrated. Gav Cook is going to cross the line. He's not really going to see much improvement there. So we still got Neil Kerbel currently with the 133.5, holding up the pro. Holding up the pro class. We got a 134.4 and a 134.6. Sin, if you're fast and sneaky enough, it's free. Get that 5-finger discount. All right, let's see. Let's hop on with Neil Kerbel. Neil is up right to start off this lap here. And let me tell you, he is going to need this. He needs to find 2/10 to take overall pole position, and that would be huge for Neil because he's going to have a sea of pro-ams between him, which he has right now, between him and Gav and Kyle Hirsch. Very interesting that Professor Chronotis has not come out of the pit lanes yet. Is he just going to come out for a miracle lap, or is he just going to choose to start from the back of the grid and avoid potential chaos? Chaos is absolutely something that can happen any start of the race. Bert, I just noticed this. Thank you so much for your sub. 24 months, 2 beautiful years together. Absolutely amazing. Thank you for popping in and being here, and most importantly, being our fearless leader. But yeah, chaos can always happen in the start of the races, especially in the night and the rain. But as I said, that Chronotis is out of the pit lane, probably adjusting that setup. But Neil Kerbel here, again, starting his lap, didn't find the improvement. We're seeing some great pace from him, sector 1, and slowly losing it over sector 2 and 3. Let's keep riding along with him to see what he can put up, because he's up by about 3/10 right now, and this is something Neil absolutely needs. If we hop on that wing, we can see the water spray, so it is wet out there for him. We see those bright lights shining up the beautiful night sky. The face of a determined man, ready to put up pole position, because he is up by 3/10 right now. He just needs to hold on to this through another sector. Will he lose it? I think he's been following Sin's advice and popping on those curves a little too much and losing time like he did there. Ran up on those curves and lost a little bit of time. The curbs can work, but not very well in the wet. This is going to be close for Neil Kerbel as he whops around. He's got just 2 more turns, and he's got to hold on to this thing, but he is losing time, and he is losing time. We are no longer... Oh, he's found it. He's found it through the first turn. No, but he's lost it through the second turn. Neil Kerbel has lost it through the final turn in what could have been a miraculous pole position. Unfortunately, he's not going to get it here, but he's got enough time for 1, possibly 2 more laps to put up. Let's move over with... who do we want to move over with? We want to move over to... Let's see what's up with Mr. Professor Chronotis, the professor himself. As he is out right now, just working his way around the track. Yes, he is in the NSX, and we got the wide variety for here. Just for you. We talk about it in Discord all the time. It's like we got to get some cool cars here so Sin can enjoy their Tuesday days or nights, or afternoons, or Wednesdays, or whatever it is for you in whatever part of the world. It's a man of respect. Today I'm going to root for him. All right, Professor Chronotis, when you watch this back, know you have been blessed by Sin themselves cheering you on. It can lead to greatness, or it can lead to disaster. We'll find out over the course of the next 45 minutes or so. All right, so Professor Chronotis is going to get his first lap out here completed. Let's see if this is to put up a time. It is a 134.8. Neil Kerbel is not improving. Gav Cook is improving very little. But what is not improving is Kyle Hirsch right behind him. This is going to be tough. This is the last lap for everyone. Neil did cross the line with just enough time for one more lap. As we see, Kyle Hirsch is on a big lap here. Not enough to really make a big of a splash. So this is going to be really interesting how this is going to play out to start this race. And the pressure is going to be on for guys like Stephen Noble, Tarugo, and Jim Kelly, as they have the incredibly fast Neil Kerbel. How do they manage that? And what does Neil do? Because he's probably going to have a pretty big gap. But as I say this right now, Neil is up on his lap time, so he certainly could put up a better lap. No one else is improving. Kyle Hirsch is up just very minimally. Oh, you know what? As it currently stands, if he does not improve, him and John Malott will have identical times that they have put up. So this will be interesting to see, and we want to keep an eye on the timetables for Neil Kerbel. Neil Kerbel is up by about a tenth right now. Not enough for pole position. So it looks like nothing's going to play out there. Gav Cook, he is up by very little, and he lost it. Not enough to make any movements, I don't believe. Kyle Hirsch has got just enough to get past John Malott, and no improvement for Professor Kronotis. And the last to come across the line here for our qualifying session is Neil Kerbel, who invalidates his lap there. So there you have it. Qualifying is wrapped up. Stephen Noble comes through big for Snag tonight with a big overall P1 as it currently stands. Stephen Noble, Tarugo, Jim Kelly, 1, 2, 3 overall and for the Pro-Am class. Neil Kerbel is going to hold pole position for the pros. Gav Cook will be in second and Kyle Hirsch in third. And for the AM class, we have Creamy Von Cream followed by Hudson Kang, then John Malott. All right. Yeah, Ryan Pally, absolutely incredible here. I do think we saw the weather come into play. I think the track just got wetter and wetter as we went, and as a result, just they couldn't put up the times. As we always do here, let us. Yeah, Tarugo's been really working with that Porsche. And he's been figuring out. The Porsche does good, but I find a lot of the drivers find that it falls off. Mayhem early will come. Server was set to fix qualification weather. I wonder if it's a bug. Possibly. It could just be one of those, like, the more it's raining, the wetter the track is getting. I don't know if that goes against fixed qualification. Either way, Bert, it made for an exciting qualifying and a very exciting start to this race. I've lost about half my grid walk, so I need to go quickly here because we got some new liveries. We got Stephen Noble out here rocking the Moose. And let me tell you something. This Canadian is going hunting tonight. Hunting for a victory. Alongside him, we got Tarugo. Not just Tarugo, the Tarugo. Alongside him, we have Jim Kelly. And next to Jim Kelly, we have our pole sitter for the pro class, the great, the powerful, and the wise, the curator of wine, Neil Kerbel. I drew a blank on his name there. We got the Dark Knight, Sam Zawisa. We got the wily vet and birthday boy, Tyler, the former champ, Morgan. We got our creamiest driver on the track, and let's come up here so we can take a look at that nice glazed hole of Creamy Von Cream. All right, now we got Gav Cook, who's rocking a new livery here. Let's take a look at what he's got going on. Very nice. Taco Fino. Little Taco Tuesday action going on for driver number 69. I turned this camera sideways somehow, and I have no idea how I did that, so we're going to be rocking. It's a goat taco joint? All right. We got Hudson Kang, sponsored by Google. If you have a question, Google's got an answer. Go to www.google.com to learn how Google can assist you in your knowledge today or tomorrow or some other time. All right, we got the alien hunter Kyle Hirsch out here with our crooked camera. We got John Malott, the Daredevil. A nice new livery for John Malott, sponsored by Red Bull. Red Bull gives you wings. All right, we got Professor Kronotis. He has a math equation. For those of you who like math, we solved this a couple weeks ago, but maybe you can solve it again for us. I think a dx means a derivative, but we're just going to not break our brain with math. We got Gannon Faust also rocking the Daredevil livery tonight. And rounding off another taco muncher. The Taco Fino. Get your tacos here today. The cameraman is blasted. This is a hot mess. That's all right. We've got through it. We survived, not by ourselves, but together. And it was fun. At least I had fun walking down the grid tonight, looking at this chaos. 20 seconds to start. What are our predictions? Sin is already predicting a huge 12 to first recovery for Professor Chronotis. But if you're hanging out with us tonight, tell me, what is your prediction for tonight? I would love to hear it. I think a few things are going to happen. I think we are not going to see a pro take first place overall, which is a bold prediction since it's damp conditions. But I think we may see some sort of upset here. I think we will see something crazy happen with Tyler. So yeah, let's just see. We're gonna do a full out lap here. We're gonna get real excited together, and then we're gonna have a crazy start. Right now, the track is damp. So we got a little bit of a damp track here. We'll see what happens. Weather predicts some rain. So finally, we've been blessed with some inclement weather here at DRL, and let's see how this plays out. As always, we're doing a full out lap here. Let the drivers get their setups ready, get their minds ready, and see how this goes. As a reminder, we do have a mandatory pit stop tonight. It cannot happen during the first or last 5 minutes of the race. How's that, Bert? Is that a little better? I can turn it up more too, or I can turn the game down. As always, okay, cool. As always, you cannot pit for the first 5 or the last 5 minutes of the race. You are required to take fuel. It's fixed at 25 seconds. Tires are an additional 5 seconds. I gotta think if we're in the rain the whole time here, we're not gonna see anyone take tires, but maybe if it starts to dry as the race goes on, we might see that, or it looks pretty dry right now. Are any drivers gonna be bold enough to start on dry tires and take an early pit stop to the wet tires? Sin says, if I'm going to be realist... Oh, whoa, Sin is backtracking. Sin is backtracking. Sorry, Professor Chronotis. No more love for the Honda. No, I'm just kidding. But you think Noble will win this race? Almost no one on the grid can compete with the Mustang in the rain. The car that would have the best chance would be the Merc. Yeah, a great point, Sin, about the car ability. I just think Neil Kerbel is such a skilled driver. He's definitely going to be able to put the pressure on them. I also think there's a chance that Steven, Tarugo, and Jim decide not to really challenge Kerbel too much if they feel like he'll have better pace and just focus on the race between the three of them. So that is always a possibility that they just look at this and say, I don't want to have it run the risk of Neil running into the back of me or anything like that. We're coming through our final couple turns here to get this started. Pally says, well, you can pit early or late, but then you must pit again within the window. Yeah, I mean, the question is, do they feel like they can get 5 minutes of dry enough track and then they can get that pit in and it's a valid pit? But here we go. This is going to be so interesting because I think this is Tarugo and Noble's first time leading our grid out here. Let's see how this race is going to start. All right, here we go. We are getting ready to start here. Any second now, we will go green. We're going to count it down, and there we go. We are green, and we're off. Tarugo gets a great start off the grid. He's going to have the ideal inside line as well. Jim Kelly's right there, and it looks like Neil Kerbel. No, that was Neil Kerbel. He almost runs into the back of Tarugo here, but Tarugo's going to hold the lead, followed by Steven Noble, who has fallen into second place, and right there is Neil Kerbel. He's going to be running up the side here of Steven Noble. He's going to have the ideal inside line. He's got the pace. He's going to make that move. Is he going to try to make it stick? He is not going to struggle with it. Oh, Steven's going to run a little wide. That's going to open up for some of these other drivers. Let's hop on with Steven Noble because he's going to get passed by Jim Kelly. He also has got pro driver Gav Cook. He's going to try to put the squeeze on them as well. We got battles up and down the grid here. This is hard to decide who to follow or who to watch. Let's go back with Kyle Hirsch. He's going to come alongside right right now. Tyler Morgan, he's going to get pinched over there by Stephen Noble. Nowhere to go on the back of that. Tarugo is still holding off right now. Neil Kerbel, let's pop up at the front and see what's happening there. We have action up and down the grid to start this race, but incredibly clean. Professor Chronotis has made it up a couple spots already. Gav Cook is ahead of Stephen Noble. Stephen Noble is battling with Kyle Hirsch right now. Kyle Hirsch did get through there. Here we go. We got Neil Kerbel coming alongside. We're going to have the turns. He's going to have the inside line. I think Tarugo is just going to concede the position to him. He is. He's going to lift. He's going to coast. He's not going to risk anything with hitting a second lead on Jim Kelly. But no, Tarugo's going to hold on to it. Tarugo's not ready to give this up. Now, Kerbel's going to have the ideal inside line here, but Tarugo is not giving it up. They have sufficient overlap with each other. Lexus versus Porsche. No, Tarugo's not going to lift. We keep thinking he's going to lift, but Tarugo came. Guns blazing, ready to battle. We're going to see Jim Kelly go wide in the background from there. That's going to open up for Gav Cook. That's going to open up for Kyle Hirsch. Will Kyle Hirsch have enough to get through? Let's go over. Stephen Noble tumbling down the grid. So unfortunately, Hudson Kang has got through as well. Tarugo is still behind Neil Kerbel, so there you go. 2 laps through, and Neil Kerbel has it. Holy cow, are we back racing. Tyler Morgan, he's wheel to wheel with Stephen Noble here right now. He's going to have the inside line. Let's see what he's going to be able to do as they come into this turn here. He's got the overlap. He's actually going to make a move on Hudson Kang as well. What a lunge by Tyler Morgan. It's like he never missed a beat. That Aston Martin is back. Tyler Morgan, welcome to DRL ACC Racing. What an absolute insane overtake. We got to change our overlay, folks, because we are not qualifying. We are racing here at DRL. Kyle Hirsch, he's just going to make that move on Jim Kelly right there. We just mix it, fixing our overlay. Tarugo, he's still got about a 1.1 second lead to Gav Cook, so Tarugo's got to be feeling absolutely phenomenal. We got Jim Kelly, who's putting the pressure on Tyler Morgan. Hudson Kang is battling with John Malott here. Stephen Noble has just tumbled down. So unfortunate. Sin, let's go, Professor. Show him that Honda gave him power to your GT3 instead of the Aston Martin F1 team. We will see what Chronotis can do up here. He's made up a couple positions. Let's hop on with Chronotis because he's going to have a chance to put the move on Sam Zawiza here if he can find it. He's just got to wait his time. Zawiza's got our creamiest driver right here. Who runs into the back of him? He's going to just run into the back of a little love tap to Creamy Von Cream, but that's going to open it up. And we're going to see Professor Chronotis overtake Sam Zawiza, take that position. He's almost going to run into the back of these drivers as well. It gets tricky for the Pro and the Pro-Am drivers when they get stuck behind the AMs because the AM drivers brake so much earlier than they do. It can throw them off sometimes. Chronotis got that move. Sam is looking to battle back. He's looking to make that position on the outside. This is a late braking opportunity for Sam Zawiza. He's looking for a switchback here. Is he going to make it stick? It was a great move by Zawiza. He's not. Professor Chronotis is just going to look to close that door on him and let nothing else happen. As we watch that battle, Jim Kelly, he got through from Kyle Hirsch, who must have ran a little wide. Stephen Noble got ahead. Hudson Kang, now he's got his eyes on John Malott here. John Malott is currently leading the AM class. Stephen Noble's going to be looking to make a move. Tarugo still holding a great lead in second place to Gav Cook, only 8/10 behind Neil Kerbel, showing that incredible pace he has. They're wheel to wheel here. What's he going to do? John Malott is going to throw the elbows out. He's not going to give a lot of space. And Stephen Noble's going to think better about trying to force it in on the inside, but John Malott runs wide. And that's going to open up for Stephen Noble. It's also going to open up for Creamy Von Cream, who's going to get past John Malott. And it's going to see, let's see, we still got a battle here. Professor Chronotis and Sam Zawiza. Wheel to wheel here. Sam Zawiza get that inside line. He's going to take that position. He's going to keep it on track. We have a battle down here for 10th and 11th place between Sam Zawiza and Professor Chronotis. This is going to be exciting to watch. Tarugo has fallen back about 2 seconds now to Neil Kerbel and a second to Gav Cook, so I wonder what happened to old Tarugo out there. So we will have to see. John Malott. John Malott's looking to make a move on Creamy Von Cream. John Malott wants a face full of cream, and he's going to dive in for it. Will he make that late lunge on the inside that we've seen so many drivers do? He will, but Creamy's going to close the door on him. He's going to say, no cream for you today. As we see, who was that off the track down there? That was Jim Kelly who went off the track. So unfortunate for Jim Kelly. He's going to have to recover. As Bert said, a dry line is forming just in time for some rain to come. So what will these drivers do? Kerbel's putting that elderly car to work as he is. We got 4 wide basically going through this turn here as our camera is just absolutely tweaking out. Professor Kernotis, we got Creamy Von Cream, John Malott, and this silent assassin, Alan Young, is sitting in the back. Alan is looking to cut down 3 people right now, doing what he loves to do most. Neil Kerbel has come into the pit lanes right now. Neil Kerbel with that early pit. I wonder if he took the dry tires. Tarugo is going to launch him into first. We'll have to try to find out later in the race what happened there. Our timing table is just going absolutely berserk right now as we have so many drivers battling it out. We got this little chain here. Professor Kernotis has gone in a battle from 10th and 11th up to 7th place. Sam Zawiza in 6th. So these 2 drivers made it past Creamy Von Cream, John Malott, Alan Young, and Hudson Kang. So incredible drive for those guys. Tyler Morgan, he's looking to make the move on Kyle Hirsch, who ran deep. Let's follow along with the birthday boy himself to see if he can make something exciting happen here. He made that late lunge on the inside. He as in Hirsch is defending it. Tyler looking for that switchback. Beautifully executed by Tyler. Just a little bit of elbow rubbing. What a switchback from Tyler Morgan. Who is this guy? Where has he been all my life? Tyler Morgan is back. Kyle's going to hold it here. What a battle between these 2 drivers. You know Tyler's heart is racing. That you know that these drivers are just absolutely loving this. Oh, we cover some big contact between Creamy and John Malott. That is unfortunate. You hate to see it. But that's racing, and that's racing in wet weather. Unfortunately, we're here with Professor Kernotis, who's chasing down Sam Zawiza here still. We're also with Tyler Morgan. We're going to follow along with him. Let's get into the bumper of his car. Let's hop on the hood of Tyler Morgan and see what this guy can do here as he looks to put the pressure on somewhere. Oh, he's going to go! He comes in so hot into the back of Kyle Hirsch. We're going to let that go because it's his birthday. We are going to pretend that we didn't just see that. Pally, that is hilarious. The seas have parted for Cook. That's right. We saw, well, we didn't see it. We heard in Discord about how everyone wanted to touch poor Gab Cooks. But no, that was Stephen Noble who got through. Stephen Noble got through. That straight up murder. Yeah, you know what, Sin? We're going to pretend that we didn't see it. We do not want to be accomplice. We don't, not witnesses. I don't know nothing. I didn't see nothing. Poor guy. I just hope that, oh gosh, I just hope poor Kyle Hirsch can make it home to his family tonight, you know? Let's hop back in that helicopter. Thanks to our DRL Gold Patreon subscribers and all of you Twitch subscribers. Kelly stopped too. And took his pit. Yeah, you know what? Jim Kelly, he went off the track. He probably cooked his tires or fell so far behind that he just figured take that pit, get some open air. Yeah, you're right, Ryan. The comeback is absolutely on for Stephen Noble. Such a gentleman, so noble of him to let all the other drivers through just to come back and take them all down. We got Sam Zawiza, who is half a second to Stephen Noble, and we have Professor Kernotis, who has come into the pit lane. So Professor Kernotis is going to concede that battle here. Interesting how Neil Kerbel came out of the pits in 13th place. Let's take a look at our statistics here. Neil Kerbel total pit stop was only 1 minute and 4 seconds. Malott was at 1 minute 2. So, oh no, Jim Kelly was at 1 minute 2. So, I mean, a pretty normal pit stop. But talk about just unlucky there. I wonder if he unintentionally took dry tires, Bert. I don't think you can really... I don't know if there's a way we can get on a side of the car to see. got Steven Noble and Sam Zuiza wheel to wheel here. We've been seeing the switchbacks here. Will we get one? No, we are just going to get Steven Noble taking it. Sam Zuiza, oh, I don't know what is happening with Sam there. He's just going to kind of let him through and not really battle too much through these turns. But yeah, interesting to see for Neil. Although, Bert, with this being said, Neil's last lap time was a 1:31.1, which is our fastest lap time by a lot. Our second fastest lap time is a 1:33.5. Kind of quickly looking here. So, yeah, he must be on dry tires because he's putting up a mega lap time and he is holding on for that dry window. So, yeah, Neil will be one to watch here. But right now we're watching an exciting battle between Steven Noble and whoever he's battling, Sam Zuiza. Whoever he's battling. No respect for Sam tonight. Just kidding, Sam. You know we love you. Here we go. Sam looking to make the move. Is he going to throw it in and hit that switchback? We've seen so many drivers do it tonight. Steven's going to run wide and perfectly executed for Sam. That should give him a clear move, and it does. So there you have it. Sam Zuiza with the overtake. Tarugo currently in the lead. We got Gav Cook, Tyler Morgan, John Malott, Kyle Hirsch. Everyone's starting to pull into the pits. What does this mean? Are we all going dry tires? Have the drivers seen what Neil did? Neil's at a 1:30.8. Now each lap is getting better than the last. Are all the drivers going to come out on the dry tires? And what is going to happen for Tarugo here? What is he going to do in the lead? At what point does he decide to take tires? It'll be interesting to see when all these drivers come out as well. The wets are cooked, and now I hope it pours. Yeah, oh God, it would get so interesting. And I don't know, there's a little plus next to that second overcast rain cloud, so I don't know what that means. But the track is officially greasy. Man, what a race tonight, huh? Out here celebrating a couple DRL birthdays. Having a night, having the time of our lives. Right now, Steven Noble chasing down Zuiza is our closest battle. Tarugo has come into the pits, so this will be one to keep an eye on is where does Tarugo come out and where does he come out relative to Neil Kerbel? You know, none of these guys who have come out of the pits have really put up great lap times. I'm looking at their times stopped. They're all pretty much 32, 33 seconds. So I'm guessing everyone must have taken tires here. So either the track was too dry and they cooked their tires and they needed or just decided to take new ones, or everyone feels the track is not going to rain and is going to come out on dry tires. Let's see. Tarugo has fallen down as he comes out of the pit lanes. He is now well behind Neil Kerbel. So Neil taking the optimal strategy so far. Professor Cronotis coming in with the 1:33.3. That's a best lap time for him. So yeah, we've seen drivers doing something. Steven Noble getting ahead of Sam Zuiza here as we're so focused on lap times. Here we go. Sam's pulling into the pit, so he's going to back out of that battle. Almost came across and hit Steven Noble there. But that's going to unleash the beast of Steven Noble. About half the grid has taken their pit stop. Tarugo's livery is cool, rocking that Porsche. Yeah, let's take a look at that Tarugo livery. The Tarugo. I do believe that John Malott made that for him. I'm sure he'll correct me if I'm wrong after he comes back and watches this. Yeah, great view here where you can really see that dry line that formed right now. All right, let's see. We got Zuiza is in. Hudson Kang is in. So we'll kind of see how this resets. Creamy Von Cream is in the lead as it currently stands for the AM class, but he has not pit. Has Gannon Faust taken his pit? He has not. So we'll see what happens here. But I'm guessing it's probably going to be Hudson Kang coming out holding first place. He's had incredible pace tonight. Tyler Morgan is still, he's coming. Why did I think Tyler pit? Is he pitting a second time? What has happened to Tyler Morgan? So unfortunate. Let's hop on with Neil Kerbal right now and watch who we will presume will be our race leader after the cars in front of him pull into the pit lane. Wrong tire, maybe. And I do believe he was green on his pit. Tyler spun into the... Oh, unfortunate, which, Pally, maybe is another way of saying wrong tire. All right, we got Hudson coming out. Tyler's doing Tyler things. What a show Tyler put on for the first half of this race, though. Just out there battling with the pros. Bert, we should have put him in pro. We should have given him his own class. Put him in a 4th class all by himself, so he had his one race, and as long as he finished, he would have been crowned, 2-time DRL champion. All right, so we're riding along with Hudson Kang here. Hudson Kang is mixed in here with John Malott, who he is chasing down. Let's hop in the Helicam. He is with our closest battle. He is about half a second to John Malott. John has taken his pit, so this is big if John can hold him back for another 28 minutes. I don't know that John will be able to, but I know John will certainly try. But we'll see how this plays out and how does the weather affect things here as Hudson looks to take him down. Let's hop back on that bonnet, kind of take a look here. You know, compared to what we saw in qualifying, it does look relatively mild, although I am seeing a little bit of what appears to be a spray here. So it is probably wet enough on the track, or one may say greasy enough, that if you take a little too much curb or accelerate a little too much on those curbs, you may find yourself spinning into the pit lanes. We want a storm. Sin is screaming for chaos. Sin just wants to see the world burn around them. And you know what, Sin? I'm right here with you. And I do hope it starts to pour. Put these drivers in check. Right now, John's got a great pace. He is holding on. I'm not sure who that is in front of John. Let's see if we can see from here. Who did he just pass? Car number 393, Stephen Noble. John Malott just unlocked himself around Stephen Noble. What am I seeing right now? Not intended to be shade at John Malott or Hudson Kang here. This may be the first time that we have seen a driver 12th place unlap themselves around the first place driver. Incredible pace for John Malott here right now. Absolutely absorbing this pressure, ice in his veins right now. 70% standing water on the track. All right, let's see. Is there anyone that we want to feature right now on the stream? Anyone you guys want to ride along with? Just let me know. I'd be happy to throw them in here and show them. Right now, we'll, let's see, this is Stephen Noble. Let's hop on with Professor Kronotis in 8th place right now and ride along with our Honda. There you go, Sid, look at that. We're connected here, Sid. There we go. Let's hop inside the car. Let's really get that ride-along moment with Professor Kronotis. We got Alan Leong and Creamy Von Cream who have decided to pull into the pits. That is going to leave Stephen Noble and Gannon Faust left to pit. What I can tell you is it is raining right now. So anyone who took dry tires is going to be in trouble here because it is raining, it is pouring, and Senor Tarugo is snoring. Is the NSX a hard car to drive? Yes, very much so. The Honda, and Sin, correct me if you disagree, but probably the Honda and the Lexus are the to more difficult cars to drive. But yes, it is getting wet, Bert. All right, let's see. We're riding along with Gav Cook. We're going to jump over because he's looking to make a move on Gannon Faust. And move has succeeded. Gannon Faust just kind of got out of his way there. The Audi is another one, yeah. You know what? A little secret for all those who would stream. Sin has mastered all of them. Alright, speaking of Lexus, let's hop over. Oh, wait, what were we about to see there? Did we see Gav Cook spin and I was so busy reading? Let's go back 15 seconds here. No, I guess Gannon just got through on Merritt? Or did he touch the curb here? Let's see. We're going to say Gannon got through on Merritt. We love ourselves some Thousy here. Alright, so we were going to pop over in the Lexus and ride along with Mr. Jim Kelly right now as we kind of keep an eye here. We see Sam Zawiza pop down. What just happened to Sam Zawiza here? Uh-oh. Yeah, okay, Gav did. Gav touched his own butt tonight. There we go. We're going to see the Ferrari just do Ferrari things there. Yeah, they each have their own complete unique driving style. But I think that's one of the reasons why, like, especially people who have been driving in ACC for a while have fun with them, because it's kind of a new challenge. It's different than the same old that you kind of get used to. But I know it can be a bit frustrating sometimes learning these cars. All right, Gannon is still putting the pressure on Gav here. We're seeing it with this wet weather. You hop on those curves and drivers are spinning right now. The track is now damp. Not moist, but damp. Soon enough, we'll have some puddles for Sin. Go splash in some puddles. All right, so right now it's still Gannon Faust and our race leader, Stephen Noble, who have not taken their pit stops as of yet. Sam, welcome to the chat, my friend. Hope you are having an incredible evening. Coming in, rocking that D. Only Sam can come in here and just drop a D right in chat for everybody. Sam, we love your D. Ah, not like that, not like that, not like that, but you get what I mean. All right, so Hudson King has fallen down. Interesting to see in the AM class, Creamy Von Cream has currently in first place for the AM class. Last lap, he's put up his personal best with a 135.2. So great lap times here for Creamy Von Cream. John Malott still holding back Hudson King. I gotta think when Gannon comes in to take his pit stop, he will kind of fall back a little bit into that. And speaking of pit stop, Stephen Noble has come in to take his pit stop finally here. That's going to unleash the great and powerful Neil Kerbel, who is going to reclaim that first place position. Let's see. Pally saying driving styles and setups, I guess, vary this. I did a season in DRL with the Audi. I couldn't even do one full push lap in the NSX without spinning, so I never attempted a season in it. Well, there you go. You heard it from Pally himself. Sorry, you don't gotta be scared. Pop in there later. Oh, we're gonna see Creamy pull up on the grass. A risky move. All right, let's take a quick moment here to run through our grid as we're just kind of chatting and hanging out on what is a beautiful hot night. It's currently 100 degrees still at 10 p.m. for me, so summer is officially here. Neil Kerbal is in first place as it currently stands. Overall and for the pro class, 24 seconds behind him is Gavin Cook, followed by Gannon Faust in third place overall and first place for the AM class. I do expect his position to change. A disqualification for Tarugo. A disqualification. Let's see if we can catch what happened. We can't. Oh, Tarugo. Everyone say a prayer for Tarugo. We get some prayers in chat for Tarugo here. Let's see. He came out. He must have just flipped into second gear or something so unfortunate for Tarugo. Gannon Faust has come in. This is going to launch Sin Prediction, our Honda, into third place overall here. What a drive for Professor Chronotis. Kyle Hirsch is in fourth place overall. We'll wait to see where Gannon Faust comes out. In first place as it currently stands for the Pro-Am class is Stephen Noble. So after everything Stephen has gone through, he has recovered and maybe not first place overall on the grid, but he has found himself in first place for the Pro-Am class, followed by Jim Kelly, who is about 4 seconds behind him. We have Creamy Von Cream, who is leading our AM class as it currently stands, followed by Alan Leung, the Silent Assassin. Then John Milan in second place. John is about 10 seconds behind Creamy, so he's got to do some work. We got Sam Zuiza and Hudson Kang battling it out. Who wants 10th overall? Let's see what happens here. Let's ride along with this battle. That's right, Sin Professor does know how to extract pace out. We're going to see Hudson Kang go a little deep. That's going to be Sam Zuiza who's going to take that position. Sin Professor's in there. He's just doing calculations. He's doing math. He's doing derivatives, cosines, all sorts of mathematical things. 0 plus 0 equals third place for Professor Chronotis. Might try the Lexus for next season. Pally, dude, just use it this season. You're going to be here for like 2 races. Then you could say you did a season with it. Just don't check his fuel. Sin, don't you jinx him, Sin. Don't you put that on him. Don't you put that on him, Sin. But yeah, Professor Chronotis, we hope your fuel calculations were correct this race. Hudson Kang is still battling it out here with Sam Zuiza. He doesn't want to get that up because he's got to get ahead of Sam to find 9 seconds to get to John Malott. Gannon Faust has come out of the pits. He is going to find himself about 6 seconds behind Hudson Kang, 4th place overall. And rounding out our grid is the birthday boy, Tyler Morgan. Welcome back to ACC. Didn't you forget how fun this is? This, I want you guys to all know, if you've never watched Tyler race before, is the most classic Tyler race in the world. And he's going to come back and laugh because he knows this is true of just total domination, a silly mistake somewhere, and just derailing the whole race. But Tyler is a DRL world champion, one of the very few people in this entire world. Of the billions and billions of people, only a handful of people have the honor to walk around every day as a DRL world champion, and Tyler Morgan is one of them. When he goes anywhere, when he's just got to sit there and think, do these people realize, like, they're sitting in a restaurant with one of the greatest DRL drivers ever, because that is Tyler Morgan. All right, Hudson Kang has fallen about 1.5 seconds behind Sam Zuiza here. So John Malott chasing down Alan Leung. This is our closest battle at about 8/10. Will the Silent Assassin get assassinated himself? Let's find out. John has found just some insane pace here. We see Alan run wide, and here it comes. Boom, boom, and slash down. The Silent Assassin has been taken down. Assassinated by John Malott, although John Malott's probably like, America. All right, but the Silent Assassin is not done. Here we go. We're going to have our opportunity here. We have seen cars run very wide into this hairpin here. What will they do? A beautiful turn there by John Malott. Expertly done. He's going to run a little wide, but not enough. What a defense by John Malott, holding the tough outside line. That is not an easy line to hold that position. But the wily vet, John Malott, is here, taking names and racing. I think I missed something in that saying, but I couldn't figure out what, but that's all right. All right, let's see. What else do we want to take a look at here? Let's hop on with Stephen Noble. Let's ride along with Stephen Noble for a little bit, talk about his race tonight. An incredible qualifying session put him in the overall pole position. A little bit of chaos early in that race, and he has recovered from what may have been a last to first in the Pro-Am class. It is sort of funny how we've seen our pros kind of level out to the top four. Had the bold prediction that it may not end up that way, and I was wrong. The pros showing they may not have had the best qualifying tonight due to potential track conditions, but all things being equal, they will have the pace. But Stephen Noble finding himself in first place overall for the Pro-Am class, and this is still a win for Stephen Noble. For those of you who are new here, we are separated by classes, so Stephen Noble is in first place right now, looking to stand atop the podium. He's got a commanding 15-second lead right now to Jim Kelly, so he is feeling great about that. Did the professor stop a second time? Professor Chronotis only has one pit stop. So nope, he just pit the one time. Tarugo! We said our prayers for you in stream here. It looked like maybe you plopped into second gear a little too quick or something, or did you come in too hot into the pit lane? We couldn't see, but our hearts are bleeding for you. Our tears are just gonna flood the track in the next 10 minutes, because what an incredible qualifying and what an incredible race for you tonight for the first half of the race. That's so unfortunate, Tarugo. You know what? Hold your head up high, because that was one hell of a qualifying session tonight. Leading the pack out, and what a jump you got. The start of the race, it was Tarugo. Man, it was exciting watching that start of the race. And I know it sucks where it's kind of ended, but you got to hold on to that, dude. That was some incredible racing to start. Some tight defense. You held off Neil. You were battling. You were holding on with him. There's a lot to be excited about for that first 10 minutes, 15 minutes of the race. Yeah, and you'll have to go back and watch the VOD, because we got a lot of that expert racing here. We're still riding along with Chronotis. Let's see. Let's hop on with Gannon Faust here. He's about a second behind Sam Zwezel, though he took a lot of curb there. Good job on him for not losing it. Tyler Morgan, we see him in the pits. Is he retiring, or what is Tyler Morgan doing? I hope he's not retiring, but you never know. Sometimes that's how these things go. Tyler Morgan is out of here, so that is that. RIP to a second driver tonight, claimed by the Bull himself. All right, we are on a quick ad break here. Gannon putting the pressure on Sam Zwezel here, though. This is pretty incredible to see. You love to see these non-traditional battles. And Gannon, oh, Sam's run a little wide. A great exit for Gannon. This is going to be his opportunity. He's got the ideal inside line here, but is he going to look to make that challenge? Is he going to be able to get late on the brakes? He's going to need to be. He's so close to having enough overlap. He does have enough overlap here. He's going to take that if he can keep the car on track. What a move by Gannon Faust! Gannon Faust, you're getting promoted to pro class after this. No, but great driving here by Gannon Faust. What a move to take over Sam Zawiza here. Absolutely incredible move for Gannon Faust. Now he's got to hold it for 10 minutes here on the track. We'll keep riding along with this because this does appear to be our closest battle so far. Yeah, I guess thinking about this, Pally, for you. Oh, Stephen Noble. Stephen Noble looking to make moves. Break up, but as I say, Pally, for you, this must be very strange watching it at such a different time as you go on your DRL World Press Tour. What a move by Stephen Noble. He's going to make it stick. Creamy Von Cream's gone into the pit lane. What has happened to Creamy? Let's see if we can go back 15 seconds in time. No, we can't. Why did Creamy come into the pit lane again? John Malot's going to take first place. What a move by John Malott to take that first place. Incredible driving by him. Creamy Von Cream tumbling down the grid. We'll have to try to find out what happened with Creamy. We're still riding along with Kyle Hirsch. Stephen Noble, yes, and so good on the brakes. It was just a thing of beauty. Absolute thing of beauty. Gannon Faust and Hudson Kang have all got ahead. Is this it for Creamy? With 7.5 minutes to go, I don't know what he was thinking here. Incredible for Creamy. But that's opening up for John Malott, who's got a huge lead, and that's going to be a first place for John Malott if he can keep it on the track here. Man, we're seeing moves here at the end of the race. We got John Malott now closing the gap on Jim Kelly. John Malott's just not satisfied with an AM win. He is out for blood, and here he goes. What overlap speed by John Malott. I'm not sure what happened with Jim Kelly here, if he's just going to let him through. Maybe he was on dry tires and decided to put on wets. Yeah, maybe. Let's get on. It does. Well, I mean, the track's damp. We're not seeing. Well, let's get into the passengers. Yeah, I mean, we're still seeing a little bit of rain. But man, John, the wet weather master Malott, is out here, knocking down the silent assassin Alan Leung and knocking down Jim Kelly himself. Next on his line of sights is Kyle Hirsch. See, as we follow along here with Professor Chronotis, he doesn't got too much action going on here. He's got about 10 seconds to Gav Cook. Gav Cook is closing the gap on Neil Kerbel, though. This is something to watch. He has got this gap down to 2.5 seconds, which was at like 20-something seconds a while ago. Gav looks like he may have some pace here tonight. This would be big for Gav Cook. Of Taco, what was it, Bert? Taco Mania? Let's see. Taco something. Taco Fino. That's right. Get yourself a taco at Taco Fino. You let them know Gav Cook sends you and they'll look confused at you. So go to your local Taco Fino today. Tacos in Tofino.
The pit window is closing now.
Oh, Taco Fino, it's because it's in Tofino? Okay. Alright, I'll look it up. We'll give him a call tomorrow if Gav Cook can pick up this win and ask their manager if they're interested in doing an interview on stream here with us. You know, do you got any comments about the recent Taco Fino win in Red Bull Ring? Maybe send Gav over there for a picture holding it. Doing a shoey at Taco Fino. That's what he's got to do. Half a second to Neil Kerbel. Guys, this is happening in front of our eyes. Right now. They said what couldn't be done. They said after a World Cup in the Americas, beans on toast were finished. But no, it's not. Gav Cook is here. Looking to claim victory down to half a second. With a little under 4 minutes. What's he gonna do? Let's hop on. We saw someone murder someone else in a bonnet today. But let's get back on that bonnet cam. My heart is racing for my old teammate Gav Cook here. Those of you who have been around know Gav and I have some history together. We also got Gannon Faust looking to strike down Alan Leung. Gannon Faust, welcome to DRL. I jokingly said we're moving you to pro, but now I'm not joking anymore. I'm gonna cut down the silent assassin. The Fauzi himself, is he gonna look to Doden on the inside here? Gonna think a little bit better of it, but take that beautiful inside line. Great exit speed, he's gonna line himself. Gav Cook, he's coming side by side. Here comes the switchback. No, he's gonna think better of it at this point. He's got that outside line, here he goes. He's got the run. Let's get on our camera to get outside the car and see what's gonna happen coming down into this hairpin. Neil's got the ideal inside line. Is Gav gonna look for the switchback? Is he gonna be able to hold it? Wondering if it's a wet versus dry tire battle. Yeah, it is interesting to see. We got great exit speed for Gav. I'm thinking you might be right. I think Gav might have those wet tires. And through goes Gav. He's gonna take it, but it's not over yet. We are far from over here. Neil's got that inside line. Oh, are we going to get a switchback from Gav? It looks like it. He broke a little bit early. He's looking for that inside line. He's got a little bit of space. Here he comes. Roaring through comes Beans on Toast himself. Side by side. This is the ideal line coming to these turns. You want it on the inside. Neil's going to get those elbows out. He's not giving it to Gav. Gav's just going to wait for the best opportunity to strike here. I do wish we had some better tire data to give everyone here. What a battle here. As we watch this, Gannon Faust did cut down the silent assassin. More like the silent assassinated tonight for poor Alan Leung out here on track. But folks, we got ourselves a battle for this final minute and a half. A lap or two left. Who can keep their car center? Who can keep them straight? We got a great opportunity here. Let's get back inside the car with Gav. Neil's going to move over. He's going to take that inside line. He's going to move outside to defend. He's going to put the squeeze on Gav. Gav doesn't care. Gav will touch the butt. He is right on the back. Bump drafted Neil through that turn. Here we go up to the hairpin. This is going to be the best opportunity for Gav. If he can get a good run here, we see a little bit of that spray, so it must be wet. Lexus on Porsche. Gav's going to fall back just a little bit, but is he lining himself up? Is he going to throw it on the inside? No, he's going to run a little bit wide. Unfortunate for Gav, not what he's going to want to do there. He's going to lose a little bit of time and have to make it up. Still under a second. Still a great run here as well. He's coming in fast. He's coming in hot. He's going to throw it in on the inside. Ladies and gentlemen, Gav Cook is making moves. Can he get the car slowed down enough? Neil Kerbel going for the switchback. Neil Kerbel is going to expertly hit that. The Porsche is very good on the straightaways, and Kerbel is having the best straightaway performance. Yeah, Gav Cook, you're seeing him fly on these straightaways, but Neil Kerbel just so expertly positioning that car for a great exit launch and be able to defend that position, putting a squeeze. You think Neil slowed down to keep the fight going? Maybe so. I think he slowed down a little bit to hit a switchback, but we will see. It would not be unlike Neil to want to keep the party going. Here we go. The time has expired. Will the stewards, will the race managers let them go one more lap? We're hoping, we're praying, we're begging. Gav Cook, he's going to look for something here. We're going to have a drag race down. I'm hoping this white flag stays and we don't get checkered. Here he comes. It's going to be close as they come across. No, there you have it. Unfortunate. What a finish. 100th of a second. Neil Kerbel is going to place that by. So unfortunate. So there we have it. Neil Kerbel in first place. Gav Cook in second. Professor Kunotis in third. First place for Stephen Noble. He's going to take first place overall in the Pro-Am class. Big congratulations to Stephen Noble on a huge and very, very noble win. We got Kyle Hirsch. He's coming in fifth place overall. Fourth place for the Pro-Am class. Let's hop on with John Malott. Playing with this food indeed there. Yeah. Kerbal break just a flex, very Kerbal-like. John Malott, congratulations on an AM win for you tonight. Very big, unfortunate for Creamy Von Cream. Let's take a look here. Jim Kelly, he's coming in second place overall for the Pro-Am class. Well, seventh place overall and second for the Pro-Am class. Next up on the podium with an incredible race tonight is Gannon Faust. Huge shout out to Gannon Faust, who took down not only Hudson Kang, not only Creamy Von Cream, not only Tyler Morgan, but Sam Zawiza and Alan Leung as well. And our last driver to cross the finish line tonight is going to be Sam Zawiza. Yes, in P12 to P13, absolutely driver of the day tonight for him. What an incredible race tonight. So exciting from start to finish. We had action. I had a great time hanging out with everyone. Let's take a quick intermission here so I can get everything set up for a interviews and see who wants to interview, and then we'll round out what has been a very fun birthday stream for me tonight. I'll be back in just a minute here.
The race is on, wheels burning rubber, we're never wrong. Power in the engines, fire in our veins, in the DRL, we break the chains. No brakes, no fear, no slowing down. The checkered flag is calling, we're the crown. Degenerate race league, where the tough survive. Living for the moment we're born to drive. Steel and speed, we own the track. No looking forward, 'cause we won't look back. From the streets to the asphalt, we own it all. Rising like thunder, hear the call. Push it to the limit, take the lead in the DRL. We race with greed. From the streets to the asphalt, we own it all. Rising like thunder, hear the call. Push it to the limit, take the lead in the DRL. We race with greed. Degenerate race league, where the tough survive. Living for the moment we're born to drive. With steel and speed, we own the track. No looking forward.
All right, we are back here for our interviews. Let us get a couple people in. An exciting race tonight, very exciting. The first driver that we're going to bring in is the one, the only, Gav Cook. Gav, what a finish to your race tonight. How does it feel to be the first loser tonight?
It feels great, Dan. It feels really good. Thank you for putting it like that. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, so you know what they say in the words of the great Ricky Bobby: if you ain't first, you're last, right? No, but as much as I jest with you, just a funny guy tonight. It was a really exciting finish. Talk to me about how you were feeling there through those last couple laps.
Oh, well, Neil had said that he was just going to slow down and battle with me, so it wasn't really anything of interest other than that he wanted to have a little bit of fun. So, unfortunately,
Gav,
sorry.
Stream didn't know this. You could have been like, I found it deep within my heart. It's your birthday today,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
fine.
wanted to win for you, for my old best friend, my former teammate, and the love of my life. No, it's okay, though. You can be honest.
You and Tyler have the same birthday. That's crazy.
We do. We're actually twins.
I freaking knew it.
Yeah.
I knew it. No, it was a fun race. Like, we were talking Really, like the best strategy would have been to start on dries and finish on wets, and we all started on wets and finished on dry. Well, most of us did. Couple went back to wets, and that was probably the better call. But yeah, it was fun battling anyway. And
Yeah, so what was your strategy? Because we were talking a lot about it on stream because we don't really get any tire data, which sucks. Um,
um,
because it looked like Neil maybe put on dries really early, and then we thought maybe you had the wets on at the end of the race, and it was, kind of seeing a dry tires versus wet tire
Oh, that would have
battle.
been really interesting, but no. As soon as Neil went in the pits and said, "Oh, I'm driving 2 seconds quicker than everyone else," then we all bolted into the pits because that was the right call at the time. But it was, yeah, I don't know. In the end, yeah, I had this. I started on the wets the same as Neil, and then ended on the dries for the same as Neil. So
Yeah, and it was funny. We were looking at it as you guys were doing the outlap, and it's like, it's not really wet yet. It says the rain's gonna come, but if anyone started on the dry tires and was like, oh, if I could get like
yeah,
the first 5 minutes until the pit window opens and survive, that would have been a huge advantage. And who would have thought they would have been fine the whole race?
yeah, that would have been the call for sure. No, but I don't think anybody started on dries when we were in voice chat anyway. So I think, yeah, everybody kind of switched to to dries eventually, or stayed on the wets. Because Noble was the only one in the top five who switched to wets at the end, so he was the one who was motoring and catching everybody.
Yeah, it was a very interesting race for Stephen Noble out there. We'll chat with him about it in just a bit as I see him pop into the green room. But Gav, what an exciting finish. We enjoy the show that you guys put on, even though we come to find it's fixed now. But nonetheless, it was exciting and it was fun. Have a great night and congratulations on another podium here at DRL.
Yeah, happy 21st birthday again, buddy.
Yeah, right on. All right, there you have it. The always comical Gav Cook. All right, Sin, this next one I'm bringing in for you. The professor himself, Mr. Professor Chronotis. Welcome to the stream. Chrono, how you doing tonight? What a race, huh?
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, you were by stream today voted our driver of the day for the incredible
Oh, cool.
12th to third place drive. Lots of love for the Honda out there tonight. Yeah, talk to me about the night for you.
Well, it was really interesting on strategy. In the end, nobody drove on the proper strategy. Neil and I convinced everybody to start on wets at the beginning by talking during practice and at the beginning of the race, saying how dries were really bad. Neil went out in dries in the damp track in practice, said they were really bad. I confirmed that, yep, that's likely the case. Race comes along, start of the race is damp. Say, yep, it's gotta be wets again. That was wrong. Everybody started on wets. Would have been better to start on dries. Everybody's tires were screaming for the first, 20 minutes of the race, or 5 or 10 minutes of the race, whatever, the first phase of the race. And then Neil pits onto dries and claims he's doing 3 seconds a lap faster. And everyone's, oh, guess we should be on dries. But it was going to get rainy again, like light rain going from greasy back to damp in 30 minutes. So sticking it out all the way with wets and to put on new wets would be good from there. But a lot of people, myself included, flipped to dries late, not getting the full advantage of the greasy track on dries, but also being stuck with dries near the end of the race. At which point, some people switched back to wets, and that's what Noble did, who almost caught me right in the final corners towards the finish line. So the two-stopper was viable after you missed the best strategy at the beginning.
Yeah, and it was funny because
that was an exciting
we were talking about it on
race.
stream, and I was like, man, like on the outlap, it's like it doesn't really look that wet out there right now. If there was anyone who was like bold enough to start on the dry tires and try to make it like that first 5 minutes till the pit window opens, they'd have a huge advantage. And yeah, funny enough, it's like 6 minutes. Neil comes in and just starts putting up these like mega times. We're just like, oh, I guess Neil's on the dries.
Dry tires were better for the whole first half of the race. If you'd started on dries and pit to wets halfway through, you would have done really well. But nobody started on dries.
So what else was I going to ask you about? Qualifying. Qualifying was a bit chaotic too. It seemed like the track conditions only got worse and worse as it went on, and by the time that you guys in the pro class got out there, the track was in much worse conditions than the pro-ams and the AMs. What was your thoughts on how like the qualifying played out, and what was the mindset coming into a very untraditional grid lineup?
Well, I was just thinking I need to eat faster because I had started eating dinner with 16 minutes to go in quali. So with the track worsening throughout the quali session, the more bites I take, the worse my lap time is going to be. So I ended up coming out with 2 laps at the end of the session and did not do very well in qualifying. So yeah, I was just thinking I wish I was not eating.
Fair enough. About halfway through, I was like, oh, I guess like the track conditions are so bad for the pro class that Chronotis is just going to qualify like from the back to try to avoid like first lap chaos if it's pouring rain. So, but there you have it. You're scarfing down dinner. All right, we got a question from our stream here. They have been cheering you on big time tonight because of being in the NSX, and they wanted to know what was your experience like tonight racing in the Honda.
It was really good. The Honda's a good car for the wet. It was nice and stable. I think I've finally started figuring out how to stop the rear end from drifting out mid-corner, so I had a lot better time in that regard and was able to keep it more planted and always on the track. So yeah, it treated me really well tonight, unlike sometimes. It's a fickle beast.
Yes, and there you got it. Chronotis has done all the mathematical stuff on it. He's done his derivatives, and he's figured out how to keep that back from locking up. We talked a lot in stream today about, the Honda, the Lexus, the Audi, and just how they're kind of at another level of difficulty compared to a lot of the other cars that you can drive in ACC. So lots of love for you tonight, conquering the beast. Well, Chronotis.
Well, thank you for the stream.
Yeah, congratulations on a great race. Like I said, driver of the night tonight as voted on by the stream. So looking forward to catching you next week and continuing to follow along on the journey.
Right on, and thanks to the viewers. Have a good night, everyone.
All right, next, let's get in Stephen Noble, our most noble driver on the track. The honorable one, Stephen Noble. Stephen, welcome to the stream. What a race tonight. Talk about ups and downs and then ups again, huh?
That was a pretty wild one. I did a lot better than I expected. But yeah, that was a crazy race.
Yeah, so what was going through your mind when you saw that qualifying session end and you were your pole position leading out this group tonight?
I was like, oh boy, I don't belong here. It's yeah, that's exactly what happened. I got a junk start and basically just got swarmed. I felt like Will Ferrell in that scene where he comes back to his first race.
Yeah, in Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, and and it's funny because I had mentioned it too. I was like, God, this has to be. Oh, I know for sure in DRL, and I don't know about your previous race experiences, but for DRL, it's like this is the first time that Tarugo and Steven have led the start of the race. So we'll have to see. There's definitely a learning curve that comes with timing the start and getting that good jump. But yeah, it kind of caused you to tumble down a little bit. But what we've heard from all our interviews so far is that you were one of the few drivers that kind of figured out the strategy. You got onto the wet tires later in the race and were able to make up. And, you started in first place for the Pro-Am class and you finished in first place for the Pro-Am class. So through all the trials and tribulations, you still won tonight.
Yeah, and I'm pretty excited about it. Even towards the end there, like, I came out of the pits with about 20 minutes left and I just was on the hunt to catch whoever was in third. I think it was Chronotis. but it was the most focused 20 minutes I've ever spent in my life.
Yeah, and like I said, you were close to getting them too. You had a lot of love and stream tonight of people cheering you on. You were like we had our like bold predictions of the night. Our bold prediction was you were going to hold on to that first place throughout the whole race. Didn't end up there, but it felt like at one point you were nearly in last place, and you made that recovery up to I believe it was fourth overall and fourth or fifth overall, and then first place for the pro am class. So still a great finish. What was your thoughts on the strategies and the weather for tonight?
Um, when we were waiting in the lobby, the track said damp, so my initial thought was wets because that's what I was fastest on in practice on a damp track. But then we got going and the track changed to greasy, and that was kind of like, well, I've run the wets on greasy before, and I'm not super fast, and it chews up the tires real bad. But if I pit twice, I'm at the back, so I figured I'd just stay on wets. And I knew Chronotis and them guys at the front were on dries. I was like, if I can just put together 20 solid minutes, I might catch them.
And that you did. I mean, if we had like 5 more minutes, you would have found yourself up a couple more places.
Yeah, I was for sure catching Chronotis.
Well, Steven, congratulations. This was such an exciting race tonight. I'm not sure. I know we've missed a lot of the last few races. Is this your first victory here at DRL?
I believe it's my second.
All right. Well, second, third, fourth, whatever it is, congratulations. It's always an exciting thing when you get that top step on the podium. All that hard work wasn't for nothing. So, congratulations on a huge win tonight. And we'll look forward to seeing you again next week.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
All right. With that, let's next bring in the Fauzi himself, Gannon Faust. Gannon, welcome to the stream. What a race, my man. How you feeling after that just utter domination over those Pro-Am whats?
Dude, I feel great. This has been my best performing race since joining you guys, and I'm incredibly surprised it happened on a wet race and at night.
Yeah, it was like we're like looking at the timetables, and it's like, oh, Gannon's right behind like Alan Leung, and then all of a sudden it's just like, wait, no, he's about to pass him. You pop over and take down Alan Leung, and then it's like Sam Zawiza gets taken down. It's just like, we got to get this guy into pro. Like, what is he doing smurfing his way down in the AM class? Been hiding his pace from us all this time.
Yeah, I don't know where all that came from. Like I noticed before I needed to pit that I made it all the way up until third overall, and I'm like in my head I'm kind of just like, okay, I know that's gonna leave once I hit the pits, so I'm not gonna stress about it. But the fact that I was able to come out, take a look at the relative and just be like, okay, I got this amount of time. Let's just chip away at it. And I was able to just take them out one by one, just get past them, keep working on it. I was very surprised with my performance and the mental fortitude I had because tip in the past, like I would notice, I'm like, oh, he's right there, I could see him, and then I'd spin out. I'm like, so that's definitely something I've been trying to get better at, and the fact that it was able to bear fruit on this track in this race it feels great.
Yeah, and it was fun to watch. And, it's one of my favorite things about the AM class as a whole is when you get to see, like, the drivers start to put it together. And sometimes it's race after race, and sometimes it's like tonight where you've had this, like, first race. And it was so exciting for all of us getting to follow along and watch you just put on a clinic out there. So, yeah, I hope you get a chance to go back, watch the stream because we caught a lot of the action. And it was really exciting to see it out there because it was such an incredible race tonight for you out there. Now you just got to carry that momentum on into the next race, right?
Oh, definitely. I'm very much looking forward to going back and watching this stream. Um, I also I also need to make sure I practice a little bit more than an hour before. So
Whatever you did tonight, do it again next week, right?
let's hope.
If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Yeah, but like I said, it was a fun race to watch. There's lots of action in it, making lots of moves, kind of finding that consistency. So it was really cool to just kind of see how it all came together. I was gonna ask something and I just completely lost my train of thought of what I was just gonna ask you. So while I try to get my thought back, talk to me about how you approached the strategy in the pit window, because I found it interesting how you chose to pit so late when a lot of the drivers kind of caught on pretty quickly. Like the dries are probably better early in this race.
Um, so I was kind of I explained it a little bit to Chronotis while we were in the green room, but 2 seasons ago with Misano, the same kind of situation happened where it was dry and then wet, and I got all psyched out because people were talking about different tires, and so I didn't know what to do. So, but this time I was like, all right, I'm just gonna drop my temps. That should hopefully preserve the tires a little bit. But I was also just keeping an eye on the weather and the fact that my wipers were still wiping. So I was like, all right, there's water. I'll be okay. But the fact that I actually didn't even realize the progress I made or how late I was pitting until the lap I decided to pit on because I noticed that final turn before the pit lane, I did not have grip. So I was like, all right, I gotta work my way in. But there really was no plan. It was kind of just cross my fingers and hope for the best.
Yeah, and I mean it worked out well for you. And actually, funny enough, as you were talking about that on our highlights here, it was you making a beautiful overtake on Sam. But yeah, there, it's always hard to say, and you can get kind of caught up in what should I do. There is something to be said about consistency, and it's definitely better to go a second a lap slower and keep it on the track versus going faster and having that time when you spin, because all that progress you lose with the spin. So I think obviously you made the right call tonight. But yeah, a fun race, an exciting race, and so much looking forward to following along for the rest of the season with you, Gannon. But congratulations on a huge race. I remember what I was going to say is these races that you had tonight are so exciting, and it's one of the things that makes sim racing so fun is when you have these unexpected moments. So I do hope that you enjoy the feeling tonight because you earned it, and you should feel great about it. And yeah, just like soak in those moments because you only get so many of those times in life where you just like, fuck, that was awesome. Yeah, and this was definitely like one of those nights tonight.
Oh, definitely. And kind of going back to what you said, I had it in my head. I'll be a little slower. It'll make me safer. I'll be more consistent. I could stay on the track. And also massive kudos to John Malott because for me practicing, the setups I had were like ice blocks. I could not keep it on, and then the fastest lap I was able to pull was a 139. And then I was talking to him, and then he helps me out by figuring out he helps me with figuring out a good setup for the Ferrari, and it was stable and it was solid, and it helped me get through some of those tight first corners.
Well, yeah, that's great. And we're going to talk to John here next. But Gannon, you have a great night. Thank you so much for racing tonight. Incredible race and popping into the green room for a little interview with us. Enjoy your night here, and we will see you next week.
All right. Thank you.
All right, let's get the Wiley vet, John Malott. John, welcome to the stream. What a race tonight.
It sure was, man. I'm gonna get my DNA checked because I didn't know I had Indian blood in me, but my rain dance I was doing while I raced actually.
Yeah, and it it seemed like everyone's strategies got thrown off the bat, seeing a damp track, starting on the wet tires. How did you decide to approach this? Did you start wet and stay wet? Did you move over to the dries? What strategy did you take for this race?
I started with wets. I lowered the pressure pretty much because it was damp. And when we went into the pits, I went ahead and changed to wets again. And oh man, they were like red balloons for a while. But when the rain started falling, I mean, I got my pace back real good.
Yeah, that you did, and we were looking at it, and it was you were just kind of down there, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, here comes John, and yeah, you're taking him down, and we said you had guns blazing. We had the silent assassin coming out with his little daggers to cut you down, and you just pulled out your pistols and blew his face off, and just taking one down after another. It was exciting to see, and it was such a strong victory for you tonight in a very difficult night and wet race. And I know it wasn't pouring throughout the race, but I find sometimes this is even harder to drive because it's this like mental like mind fuck of like, what tires do I need to be on? Is it going to start raining? You're like, the wipers are going a little faster. Like, okay, here it comes. It like never really comes. So sometimes that can kind of just distract you enough.
Well, it totally. I was hearing everybody talking about they went to their dries, and that's when I was like, "Oh man, please start raining again, man." We came here practicing for a rain race, and that's what I'm set up for. So I'm just gonna keep my wets on. When they started getting real bad, I kind of slowed down and found me a pace where they stayed kind of, I guess, at a certain temperature and a certain pressure. And I just stayed there until they started turning yellow, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this is going to work out." They're starting to go green, they're starting to get better grip, and I just might have a damn chance here.
Yeah, and it definitely seemed to turn into your favor towards the end of the race for those drivers, those couple drivers, you, Gannon, Steven, who decided to just rock the wets the whole time. It definitely benefited you at the end because you guys had just incredible pace out there. But yeah, and it's funny that you were saying that about the rain because chat was like screaming like, we want this track flooded, like we want to freaking drown these drivers right now. They were out for blood tonight on there, and we kept getting like teased with it a little bit, but it ended up being a pretty exciting race nonetheless. Red Bull Ring always provides some great racing opportunities, a little bit of a wider track, drivers are familiar with it. But yeah, it was exciting seeing you come out here, and I'm not sure I've seen you bring out like this level of domination over the grid before. So it was really cool to see. There was a lot of drivers who really like rose to the occasion tonight and had really dominant performances out there. So it was really exciting to see a huge win in the AM class for you. So yeah, it has to feel a great night tonight.
Well, big shout out to Tyler for showing up because that was another reason I had something to prove, of course, with him out there.
Yeah, and so you've been around, since the early days. I was telling stream this was or telling chat this was such a Tyler race tonight where he just came out and was like on fire for the first like 15 minutes of the race, and then it was just a downhill tumble from there. I felt bad for him, but it was just like the most classic Tyler race ever.
Yeah, well, I just feel bad I didn't get to bump him at least once.
Yeah, chat saying they just were asking for a little bit of 70% standing water, not too much.
Well, it was a great race. I really, when the rain came, it really felt good because I'm so used to when we have wet races, they end up being so damn confusing. And this one started out that way, but the way it changed, it worked out great. I loved it. It was a great race tonight.
Yeah, no, it really was. It was a lot of fun to watch. I think it'll be a fun stream for everyone to go back and watch. So yeah, you guys definitely put on a show tonight, and it was really enjoyable. Niels popped into chat. He said the weather conditions were interesting, but he wants a wet race. You guys just want a monsoon. We're going to have to give you guys a monsoon here. We're going to have to fix the final mystery wheel and just spin it until it lands on monsoon. Or just change all the weather conditions to monsoon for you guys.
I wouldn't doubt it. You guys always you're more degenerate than the racers.
This is true. Awesome. Well, John, congratulations. A great night. A great race. Really fun, exciting return for me coming back after my couple-week hiatus. So thanks for putting on a great show, and we're looking forward to following along again next week.
And shout out to my teammate, second place. You all have a great evening, and thanks again, Dan, for all you do, man. You're awesome out there on the commentator booth, man.
Thank you. I appreciate that, John. All right. Well, there you have it. With that, we have wrapped up our interviews for the night. We caught along a really interesting qualifying. I wouldn't say it was the most exciting qualifying that we've had this season, but it was certainly the most interesting with how it felt like the track conditions were either getting worse or the drivers were just really hungry and eating throughout qualifying. I'm not entirely sure which, but something was happening out there and gave us a very non-traditional grid lineup, which made the start of the race very exciting. We had these like wet but not wet conditions that kind of kept everyone on their toes. It also opened it up for the first time that I can ever think of where there was actual different strategies drivers took that played out beneficial, right? We heard from some of our unsung heroes, if you will, Gannon, John, Steven, who decided to stay on the wet tires, and they were able to make that roaring comeback at the end of the race, where we saw other drivers who decided to hop on the dry. You know, of course, most notable, Neil hopping in like as soon as the pit lanes open to get on dry tires, and really pushing that pace to start the race. So that was really exciting to kind of see how that played up. Lots of battles up and down the grid. Drivers who don't normally battle with each other were out there battling tonight. And of course, we were blessed by the Holy One, Tyler Morgan, coming out to celebrate our birthdays tonight, racing out there. Such a fun race tonight. Let's pull up the schedule here. So we finished at Red Bull Ring tonight. Next week, we're going to find ourselves in Silverstone. I said a few times, it was a little bit of a late start tonight because it was my birthday. We had a lot going on. Next week is no different because my little girl will be turning 4. So it'll probably be a late start. I'm sure we'll be back home by the 9 p.m. start time for me, but I may not have a lot of the pre-stream stuff that I have set up, like the standings and all that, but we'll kind of try to flip through it somehow to kind of get you guys updated on where that's at. After that, I will not be here for Watkins Glen. Unfortunately, I will be out of town and unable to do that, but we will try to see if we can get Jonathan, who was unable to be here tonight because of work, to possibly take that over. Then we'll come back for Coda and the return of Arturus Hermanis. I believe that's the race he's returning for. And then we will round out the season with Mystery Track, which I am at a conference for, so we'll need to get someone to pop in to round out the season. I do apologize. The summer months are hard. It's my biggest travel time of the year. Obviously, being out here in Phoenix, we try to escape the heat when we can. So it is a little bit more of a scuff season, but I appreciate everyone who pops in to hang out with us and chat. Tonight was such a fun night, and I appreciate that with it being my birthday tonight. A fun way to kind of round out the old birthday, the old 3-6, as we keep adding numbers on to there. But yeah, shout out to everyone. Sin, hanging out with me as you always do. I have so much fun hanging out with you, Sin. Pally, it was cool seeing you hop in with us and hang out with us in here as well. We had Snag pop in. Snag, I don't know if you got to check out the rest of the stream, but your boy Steven pulled it out for you. Ryan was able to make the race. He popped in. So, Ryan, lots of love for you hanging in. Bert, our fearless leader, of course. Sam as well, right along there with him. Who else do we have in here? I know we had Tarugo pop in. Tarugo, again, thoughts and prayers with you after how that played out. And Neil and Gannon as well popping in at the end here. And of course, every single person who you see on this list, thank you for your love and support. Everyone who supports us here hanging out, whether you're just in Discord, even if you're not a Patreon Gold member or you're not subscribing to us with your Prime subscription on Twitch here. If you're just watching on YouTube, you're just hanging out with me, you're part of our Discord community, thank you guys all so much. It's your love and support that keeps us going, that makes us want to continue doing this and try to create the best community that we possibly can. You know what? I think we have a pretty good community here. I love each and every single one of you guys who are out here hanging out, racing. Thank you guys all so much for being here. I will see you guys all next week at Silverstone for a reverse grid race. Until then, stay beautiful, each and one of you degenerates. Peace.